Bam.
Ta-da!
There we go. Off without a hitch. What can we say? You know, we're good.
Oh,
You should have seen the scrambling behind the scenes just a couple of seconds ago.
we were running around like crazy.
It's like, uh-oh, this isn't connecting right. Oh, this Facebook thing's driving me crazy.
Got it.
Well, anyways, hi.
Welcome to IFB. Yes.
Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Interfleet Broadcasting. I'm New York Pete. And my buddy over here on the other side is...
I'm the Tipsy Toaster.
Voila. Here we are.
We are here.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Right, news, entertainment with a slant towards 70s, 80s sci-fi TV movies from two guys that grew up watching the original shows, especially one of our favorite all-time, the reason that bonds us, brought us together, the original Battlestar Galactica.
I was thinking it was Zardoz.
You know, I've seen that twice. 2 times I
It's
saw
a
that.
Sean Connery show. It's got to be good. Yes, Battlestar Galactica.
It's weird, man. It's weird. But anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. James McLaughlin, Linda, and Karen, and Ramon. Good evening, gentlemen. And Cylon, Clay, and Sean. Woo! Sean's in the house.
Woo!
Thanks for joining us, everybody. So we have some really good outtakes. We got chapter 14 that we're going to be talking about.
Yes.
Right? So there is some broadcast stuff and some deleted scenes. Chris,
Yeah, we even got, I brought up, we'll be bringing, let's try that again. Hi, I'm Chris. We'll be bringing up the deleted scenes later on tonight. So we'll actually have some deleted scenes, show you some differences there, kind of get into the episode a little bit and watch some of the episode too, maybe, as long as we can keep it to where we can comment over top of it and the Facebook demons don't catch us.
Yes.
So we're good there. So we'll throw up some of that, but the deleted scenes are definitely interesting. I think you're going to enjoy those. I know I enjoy. I mean, I've watched them like 4 times. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So, a lot of cool
Eric,
things
thanks
coming on
for
tonight.
joining us.
Anybody seen Lola yet?
No, I didn't. No Lola spottings yet. She's somewhere around, I'm sure. There's no question about
I'm
it.
going to call her and make sure she's okay.
Yeah. I think I'm going to send her a message on the side.
You got loyal fans when if they're not here, you're like, I wonder if we should call them. I wonder if they're okay. Are they in the middle? Oh yes.
Look what I got.
Yes, tonight.
Hey, George G
is in Maui.
On from Maui. Hey, George, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it. Say hello to everybody. Aloha to everyone in Hawaii that's watching with you. So, Chris, look, is this what we got? This is what you got? Check it out. Battlestar IPA. I'll bring it a little closer, see if it'll,
left.
it'll focus up
go,
or not.
Go in the middle.
No?
Got to go in the middle. Go in the middle.
Gotta go in the middle. Did that work?
There you go.
There it is. There it is. And there. Whoop. Whoop. Don't want to shake it up. Okay. It's a limited release. Yeah, baby. Limited release. It says, for Battlestar, our boundless pursuit of the perfect IPA took us halfway around the globe before sending us straight out of the solar system in search of a supreme balance of hops, malt, and inspiration. Dry hopped with Galaxy and Mosaic hops, this galactic India Pale Ale delivers intense tropical and citrusy flavors suitable for faster than light travel, casual projection, or just kicking back with friends here on Earth. So,
and it's from what's the it's a Crux Fermentation Project is what it says at the top.
Entertainment Project Oregon. Yes, it's really cool.
I believe this is the name of the brewed
Crux
in
Entertainment Project.
Yeah, Flux.
Brewed in Oregon.
So if you're in Oregon, you can go find some of this probably somewhere. But once again, it is a limited release. So
you got to jump on it. But we also got to thank them because
it's cool looking.
They sent us a couple, right?
Yep.
So this was courtesy of them, right? So Crux Entertainment Project. They're the ones that actually provided this. Thank you guys.
See the top
really
too?
Appreciate it. What?
They actually have the thing actually printed on the top too.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never seen that before. So here we go.
Bust this open. Yeah, ready?
There, one.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Oh, a little foamy.
Put this out. Here we go.
Yeah, anybody have to go to the bathroom? We're going to make sure that happens right now.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, by the way, in case anybody's wondering...
It smells good.
It's 7.8% alcohol. So there you go.
Which means you humans can't handle it, so you'll be drunk by the end of the show.
I think that you're probably correct. I'm not going to debate that. So
Pete will be a babbling idiot by the end of the show, or passed out drooling on the microphone.
Or both. Mediocre modeler.
I'm about to drink, and I'm not even. We're not supposed to drink yet. We can pour it. Now drink yet.
Yeah, you.
I'm just jumping on that thing, you know.
Yeah, no kidding. So we have our.
I've been having some banter with the mediocre modeler. He wants. Yeah, we're talking about the helmet from the from Baltar. I said, well, it's used to telepathically communicate, and it's like, well, Baltar's an idiot, so. So I'm like, point taken.
That's it. Hey, Rob.
It's better that he sits back and relaxes. Hey, Robert's here. Hey, Rob.
All right, outstanding. So, Chris, our usual toast to everybody.
Yes.
All the fans, live and otherwise, meaning in syndication, because in reruns, right? We get a lot of our fans that watch us. But you know what, Chris? All said and done, I'm sure since we're broadcasting out into space, there might be others watching.
That's right.
And there might be people
Those
watching
UFOs.
from the past, the future, and from beyond.
That's
so,
right.
To everyone, right? To all
Could be out there in the Battlestar watching us going, these guys have got it.
Yeah, what's going on? All right, well, as we say, Chris, go for it.
So, everybody, thank you for joining us. You are awesome. We enjoy that you are here. We enjoy that you get to kick back and listen to two old farts just pontificate about the cool stuff that we've experienced and the cool stuff that's out there. Wow, I used a big word and I'm not even drinking yet. So, here's to all of you. And, of course, we always say fans fuel the fleet, because without you, fandom would die and the fleet would not move. So, fans fuel the fleet. Here's to you.
Here's to you guys. Wow, that's nice.
It's foamy.
So Clay Arden says, are we going to see a Cylon ingest consumables? Yes, we just did.
See what, huh? Oh, ingest consumables. Well, wait a minute now. Okay, we'll talk more about that tonight. Yeah. Well, we'll talk more about that tonight. I'm not a robot. I'm a space alien.
A robot. You're a robot. You're a robot.
I'm a foamy robot.
Hey, you got your mug? Let's see the mug. You got the mug, right? Here we go. Yep. That's it.
That's citrusy.
All right, so
I like it.
Actually, it's good.
It's smooth. It's not bitter.
It is. No, it's not at all. Actually, very good. Okay, so thanks for joining us, guys. Really appreciate all the support. And good stuff ahead. We have in the green room, Chris.
Why can't it be a silver room?
Okay. All right. Calm down. I know you're upset about what's going to be said in the cave. So, all right. Okay.
Yep.
No bitter beer faces. Absolutely. That's right, Sean. All right. So we have our movie critic and reviewer. Tiny Bean is waiting in the silver room. And so let's join up with Tiny Bean Tara, and I was going
Pete can't
to
talk.
say,
He's only had 2 sips.
I am, yes. And Lee Jacobson, welcome to the show. So Tara, save me from myself.
So if anybody doesn't know, Tara is our movie critic and reviewer, and she comes in every week, or every other week, I'm sorry. And if you don't get a chance, so if you don't get a chance, well, I can speak. I'm just mistaken. There's a difference. So if I'm not a babbling idiot, I'm just slow.
Not yet.
Not yet. The night is young, guys.
That's it. But
it sure is.
Tiny Bean Tara is our movie critic. She'll do a blog later on. She'll actually put the information out on our page. And we get to hear about some new things that she's looking at and everything else. So if you ever get a chance, make sure you check out our page and make sure you read up on Tiny Bean Tara. And without further ado, we will let Tiny Bean Tara take it away.
Great. Thank you so much. Hi, IFB world. It's great to be back. I hope your summer is fantastic so far. It has been so hot up here. I feel like I'm inside the midnight sun from the Twilight Zone. But there is so much going on right now. Let's start with the big surprise announcement yesterday. And there was much rejoicing. BBC and Amazon have announced that they are bringing back the limited run Hugo Award-winning miniseries Good Omens from 2019. Now, let's recap. Good Omens was based on the 1990 book by Neil Gaiman and the late Terry Pratchett. The story revolves around the coming apocalypse, and all of the players in heaven and hell are getting into their places, and a somewhat fussy angel and a crazy fast-living demon. They're not so keen on the idea of the destruction of all things, so they team up, and because it's Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett, well, hilarity is bound to ensue. Now, I was a huge fan of this adaptation. They did an incredible job of nailing the intelligence and the absurdity and the writing, as well as the casting of the amazing Michael Sheen and David Tennant in the leads. And with Frances McDormand playing the voice of God, I gleefully watched every second. I mean, I was really sad to see it end, but, and it did. They told the entire story of the book. So to have dropped the news that a second season it's mind-blowing. Neil is back writing, and he's the co-showrunner. He's got a whole new adventure for our heroes, and he said that he and Terry talked about writing a sequel 30 years ago. So there you have it. I cannot wait. I mean, no release date yet, but I will keep you posted, as well as keeping my eyes on the news of Neil's Sandman adaptation coming to Netflix in the near future. Cannot wait for that one. Now, next up, just a reminder that the Tomorrow War drops tomorrow on Amazon Prime. Now, we talked about this one a few weeks ago. This looks like it's going to be the big budget blockbuster summer, alien, sci-fi, time travel, throw it all at the wall and see what sticks movie of the year. And this one stars the familiar Chris Pratt, and now he has been talking a lot in the last few days to the press about how this is a sci-fi movie with heart. And he's actually been likening it to It's a Wonderful Life. So, we shall see. I am looking forward to this one, so check that out. Tomorrow, Amazon Prime, Papa Mike, if you're watching, I think this one is for you. Now, did you all catch up on that intel drop from the government that we talked about last time regarding the UFOs on Friday? Wow. It wasn't exactly a photograph of E.T. posing next to his ship, but there was some news there. I mean, basically, in a nutshell, our government has confirmed that there are unidentified objects spotted and reported by our military flying around out there. And by unidentified, that means they don't know more than that. Well, at least more that they can tell us. The classified report, I'm sure, has a lot more to the story. And I'm betting the smoking man and his team are beyond the reason why this story got so little media commentary. Okay, so I, Mulder and Scully, and Shore, and everybody else, we're not too surprised that this will definitely warrant some further study and discussion, so stay tuned. Now, lastly, for this week, someone pointed out that I had left out a major player in my summer preview. Namely one Mr. Stephen King and the Apple TV Plus adaptation of Lisey's story. Full disclosure, I just didn't want to spring for yet another movie TV service. I mean, seriously? But then I realized I'd be letting you all down if I didn't check it out and let you know if it's worth the bucks. So, long story short, wow, there's a lot here to unpack. Now, I read Lisey's story back in 2007. This is Stephen King's self-proclaimed favorite of all his novels, and that should say a lot. It's not full of jump scares or buckets of blood, but this story really stayed with me. It was very introspective, quietly horrifying. Like the little hairs in the back of your neck stand up. Well, that happens with this, and then it stays that way. So, it's the story of Lisey. She was married to a prolific King-esque horror writer named Scott for 25 years. Scott was recently killed, and Lisey is left, salvaging the wreckage, which includes, of course, files and files of unpublished works that will never see the light of day unless some fans get their way. You can kind of see where this is going, right? And add in like childhood traumas and a trans-dimensional world called Booyah Moon, family dramas, psychotic stalkers. I mean, well, pass the popcorn. This adaptation, written for the screen and produced by King himself, stars Julianne Moore, who also co-produced, and Clive Owen, who you guys, I'm sure you remember them both together in Children of Men. Now that was a good one. And it also stars my girl Jennifer Jason Leigh, Dane DeHaan, and Joan Allen. So it is a cast of powerhouses. I am 4 episodes in, so that is halfway through, and I am really enjoying it. It is so beautiful. It is so elegantly shot that it is completely mesmerizing to watch. However, it is a bit slow. I am not 100% sold on it yet if everyone will love it or not, if you didn't already love the book or you just really love Stephen King. So I will finish this one out to the end, I promise you, and I will come back and tell you all about it when it's done. And I guess I'd better get used to Apple TV Plus because there is a series based on Asimov's Foundation books coming there soon. So I guess we can't miss that, right? So next time on Tiny Bean's Corner, I am going to throw it way back to some OG summer classics. I want to do a summer nostalgia dive for the discriminating IFB fan. 3 films from back in the day that no one should let the summer go by without revisiting. So see you in a couple of weeks, and I think you're going to need a bigger boat. Back to you guys.
That's funny. We just actually, Pete and I were reading some stuff on that this week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Karen, hi, Tiny Bean. Mediocre Modeler says, well, Tiny Bean's room is green. And Big Jim in Toledo, Ohio. Thanks for joining us, Big Jim. Scott, and of course Lola is now with us. Lola made it.
Her name was Lola. She was a
Eric Patton. Don't stay away from the Copa. Eric Patton put some stuff up on how much does the report differ, and it's pretty funny. So you guys that are chatting it up, check it out. It's a good one. So yeah, good evening, Scott. Good. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to the movies. So. You're not gonna mum's the word until the next appearance. So yeah,
yeah, and I will get my blog post up within the next couple of days with a link to everything we talked about tonight.
Awesome,
outstanding. All
Great
right,
job.
cool. Yeah,
I'm just not gonna do the Stephen King thing. I just don't like Stephen King.
I hear you.
Yeah.
We'll see. But the streaming thing, like Sean says, another one, man. Come on.
I know. But as soon as I heard Asimov, I went, "Oh, come on!"
There's supposed to be another space one. Yeah, there's supposed to be another space one on Apple TV that's supposed to be really good, but I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about, Chris. Yeah, I gotta look it up. But I know another one.
Karen says Papa Mike will surely watch the Chris Pratt movie.
Oh, yay. Well done. All right.
I'll definitely watch that one. That's for sure.
Right up his alley. I can't wait to hear what you guys think of it. So please, let's keep in touch on this one.
All right. That works for me.
Have a good night, guys.
Yep. Take care. Thank you.
Thanks. See you next time. Bye. Outstanding. All right. Cool. Nice little crisscross special effects, Chris. I see your specialty board is up and running.
Yeah, I'm back on the base star.
Traynor, yeah, Chris. She was a showgirl, but that was 30 years ago when they used to have a show. That's right. Razor Ramon, stay away from the Copa, man. Lola, good night. All right, the storms. Lola, we're gonna miss you, but thanks for tuning in and saying hello, and stay safe, please. Sean, For All Mankind on Apple TV.
That's it.
Man.
That's it. That's the one I was thinking about.
I don't know, man. Like you said, Sean, another one, another pay TV, not to mention Warhammer 40K. They're going to have it. I think it's 11 different programs.
Is that going to be an Apple?
No, they're going to have their own streaming service. So
jeez.
Lola's staying. All right. Stay, Lola. Don't go. Don't go to the Copa. Stay here with us, IFB. All right, good.
But she has to meet her boyfriend. What was his name?
Apollo.
No. Oh, yeah, definitely probably right, but he wasn't at the Copa that night because he didn't get shot. So
Yes, that's right. All right, cool, man. Well, look, bottom line is, Chris, we got stuff going on. Sean says, I'll wait for Blu-ray rather than purchase more services. You know what? I think in some cases
that's not a bad
that's
idea.
probably it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Trey says it's Tony.
Tony,
Lola
that's right.
says Apollo.
Yeah.
Robert says Rico.
Rico. Rico.
Excellent.
I don't know. Now we're all going to be listening to the Copacabana after we get done with this, just so we can have.
I think
guys,
so.
those guys are supposed to be talking science fiction, and we're talking Barry Manilow.
Hey, man, come on. He's got to have a laugh. What's the big deal?
Oh, yeah.
Well, look, this is looming. We got stuff to talk about.
It's looming. Yeah,
that's right. And Rico was the bad guy. Yes, he was.
Yes.
He wore a diamond. I think that was the feature noted in the song. Yeah, Rob. Yep. See what we started? Lola's laughing. All right, well, there's a couple other things, Chris. We've been looking into, the convention scene.
Yes.
And we've scored some tickets to New York Comic-Con. So for anyone that is going to attend, Tipsy Toaster and I, we will be at New York Comic-Con. So let us know if you're going to be there. If you score tickets too, we'll do a meetup. We'll definitely do a meetup. We'll take some pictures. We'll do some live stuff, maybe a little filming.
Yeah, we got the tickets from Rico.
Yes, well, not supposed to give that away. So yeah, we're in. We got tickets reserved, and Lola says, "Want to sell your ticket?" So yeah, so we got 2 conventions so far. We're going to AwesomeCon.
Well, actually, 3. You're not going to one of them.
No, I said we.
Oh, we.
Not
oh yeah,
you.
We have 2.
We have 2, and Chris, since he's not giving it up for his own selfish reasons that he's got to keep bringing it up, is going to Dragon Con by himself.
Well, my daughter will be there. But
and we're gonna have hopefully some interviews. Last time your daughter went with you to what was it? Allcon, yes.
We got a couple interviews there.
She actually, hold on, let me correct, take a step back from that. If I'm not mistaken, she actually goes to conventions with you fairly regularly. So she's going to probably do some interviews for us. So we're looking forward to the
someone has to run the camera.
Yes, exactly.
And the sound equipment. So
yeah, no kidding. So
and hopefully we'll do some. We're going to try to go live in some of these places too. So we just we'll bring it up and we'll go actual live from the show floor. And speaking of Battlestar Galactica and cons, Dragon Con has come out with a bunch of announcements, and one of them, like 6 of the original cast from not the original Battlestar Galactica, but Battlestar Galactica 2004, which is still a Battlestar Galactica show, and I'm not.
Yes,
I like it.
Part of the franchise.
It's part of the franchise. I like it, and I'm not going to say which one I like the best because they are all pretty good. But once again, that show, they've got the majority of the actors and actresses, including the president and Michael Trucco, who played not Racetrack. Anyways, a bunch of them are going to be there, so that's going to be really fun. It's always good to have a group of those. Plus, there's always a group of Battlestar Galactica nuts, Galacta nuts, there at the show. So
Hilo played Hilo.
That's it. He played Hilo.
Yes, thanks, Sean. Yeah.
So we'll make sure we try to get a couple of sound bites from them and say hello to them. See if they'll yell out to the fans on the page and everything.
Yeah,
so
that'd be kind of cool. I had done a couple of interviews with some of them when I had my radio show back in the day on Nexus Productions Radio.
Way back when.
Local, way back when. And I'd attended a couple of conventions, and they were really, really nice back then. And the show had actually, man, I can't remember if it was still on or not, or it just wrapped up. But I'll tell you, those that we met, and Alessandra from Caprica.
Yes.
Right. Yes, we met her, and I have an interview. Maybe we're gonna try to see if we can clean it up, and maybe we'll be able to rebroadcast it. I'm gonna see if I can
That'd be
get
fun.
permission, because that was my interview, so I still have it. It'd be kind of cool. But all right, so look, bottom line is, Sean's correcting himself, or Sam. I'm not
Sam.
sure.
Hilo or Sam. Yeah, it's Sam. Hilo was the other guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was Sam. You're right.
So,
you were wrong, but now you're right. How's that?
Yes. So yeah, that's right. There's room for corrections here. Nothing is written in stone. But thanks, Sean. Yeah. So look, bottom line is, guys, we're gonna start doing
Samuel
some
Anders.
Of the conventions.
That was it.
I got it. Did you look that up? Did you?
No.
You did.
Nope. It just takes a while to wander from the third brain to the first brain.
Some would say that's only the second brain, but okay.
I don't know. Third brain's the one that thinks like a human. So when you get your third brain, you can think like a human.
That's right. So you're not thinking like a human right now. You turned it off.
No.
No. All right. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway,
purchases.
Yes, purchases. Chris, what do you got? Come on.
So, if you didn't notice, I kind of been playing around with the broadcast, and if you notice, I've been did that, and a lot of people are like, "What's that? What's that from?"
Yeah.
Well, I got a iron-on transfer book, and I started copying the outlined.
You're recreating. Yeah, you're not copying. You're recreating
the outsides.
Your own artistic. Yes, your own artistry.
So here is the one I recreated. It's the purple, blue, yellow type thing.
Oh yeah, that's sweet.
So, and I even recreated the Battlestar Galactica thing over here. And these are supposed to be iron-ons. These aren't the iron-ons I remember. Ones I remember were rubber, vinyl. These are sublimation ones. So they can only be. So if you're looking to buy the book, be aware you can't put these on a cotton T-shirt. They will not transfer. They'll only transfer to something that's 60% polyester. How do I know? Trust me. But they don't transfer very well. And I'm still not sure.
Yet?
I
just got some T-shirts.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try.
I got to get some polyester T-shirts because it won't work on white cotton.
Hopefully, by the next show, I will try to do one. I'll try to do a transfer because I got polyester shirts.
Yeah.
Just for giggles.
You got white polyester shirts? It has to be white.
No, I didn't. I got. It's like the heather gray. I just no.
No.
You tried it? Did you try?
No.
You didn't try it.
No, I know for a fact it won't work. I know for a fact.
Oh, it's not.
No,
really?
It has to be a white shirt.
Oh, come on.
It has to be a white shirt.
That sucks. All right. Well.
Yeah. So, anyways, the ones I remember were the rubber ones that were on your shirt, and kind of like this IFB logo here is kind of rubbery. And it would make you sweat because it wouldn't breathe.
Yeah.
I remember having the Farrah Fawcett shirt. That was the entire big square was Farrah Fawcett's face.
That's right.
And underneath there, you would just sweat because it just didn't breathe. But it was Farrah Fawcett, so come on.
So it's okay. It passes. Yeah.
That's it.
Razor Ramon. Little fact I found out: the lead for Miami Vice turned down the lead role for Battlestar Galactica, and guess who starred with him?
Oh, he's talking about Don Johnson. Yeah, Don Johnson turned down Battlestar.
Yeah. How about that? Mediocre Modeler says, Chris, you look like a trading card now.
But nobody's want to trade this face, trust me. You know, when we had the mask mandate, it was a great thing for humanity because I could cover my face.
Oh, get this. A very, very important fact. This is very cool because I also did a little research on this. Robert Baum, thank you for bringing this up. I recall seeing iron-on decals given away at a restaurant called Red Barn in PA many years ago. Is that a PA area chain? I was in Hershey at the time.
Nope.
Yes, some of the decals, the iron-ons, like the ones that Chris is talking about, were given out as promotions.
Yeah, and
So,
on the back they had actually $1 off or
yes.
something for Red Barn.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Red Barn wasn't just PA, because there was a Red Barn in Casper, Wyoming when I was growing up. So
Oh, I'm so sorry.
yeah, so it wasn't, and we would go there a lot.
Oh wow.
It was a good place to go eat, and it was
Oh yeah.
it looked like a Red Barn. It was kind of cool.
It is what it is. John Repper, cool retro 70s graphic borders on your podcast graphics. Way
Working
out
on
dudes.
it.
Yep. That's all.
Yeah, we'll get
Tipsy
the split one. We'll get the split ones here shortly. I had time to get the other ones done.
Hey, Razor Ramon came back with an answer. He says James Edward Olmos. I vaguely remember that he actually did try out for.
Yeah, he was on Miami Vice.
Auditioned for a couple of. Yeah, he was, but he had originally, I think, auditioned for one of the leads. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he got bumped down, and they gave him that the role that he did. I don't know if he's doing a movie or something, but yeah, he was squad sergeant in Miami Vice. Yes, that's right.
Don Johnson. I'm a big Don Johnson fan too. I like Don Johnson.
Don Johnson, he guested on an episode of The Streets of San Francisco and the last season episode Hot Dog. So while the future Captain Apollo appeared with what could have been the future Starbuck.
Yeah.
Crazy, Rob. Very good. Thank you for that.
Yeah, speaking, I'm going off subject here, but I just watched a Don Johnson show the other day because Pete was talking about a specific genre.
Yes.
And Pete with his with his New York accent.
Yes. Translators on.
He was noir. Said noir. Said what doesn't have an R in it? He says noir. So what doesn't have an R in it? Tell me what genre we're talking about. It's
film
the
noir.
film. It's called noir. I said, well, why would somebody call something with no R? I don't get it. We spent probably 5 minutes trying to describe what the heck he was talking about.
You got to rip away that Wyoming accent and filter of yours, and then maybe you can understand what's being said. Oh.
No R. So anyways, I watched so I looked up no R on over here on my TV, and it popped up with a bunch of different shows that were free, and one of them was called The Hot Spot. So that thing was almost softcore porn. I was like, whoa. So anyways, really good. It was a good movie though. It was long. It was a good movie. So anyways, right. I jumped subjects on us there. Sorry, but
there's a lot of good movies.
Yep.
And a lot of good sci-fi ensembles, because that's one of the things that we kind of figured out when we were talking the other day about films, movies, and shows. But right now, we have chapter 14.
That's it. Ready?
Yeah, I think so, man. I think we got to let it rip. Go ahead. Yep.
Book versus episode.
Chapter 14 of the book.
Yes.
Cylon Death Machine.
Yes.
Wait a minute, I gotta say that better.
Heavy metal. The go ahead.
Cylon Death Machine.
That doesn't sound good. I have to fix that.
That didn't sound good. That didn't sound too good. You know what we got to do? We got to get our buddy to actually record that.
Oh,
the various contraptions and machines and all the things that he's got, and
$30,000 worth of stuff. If you haven't seen that yet, check our last episodes or two. We had the interview with the guy who I'm sorry, his name is
Cylon Voice. Oh man, it's beautiful. It's really incredible. What a story. He's got a documentary and
on Facebook.
Oh yeah, Sharky Star Rover episode. Yes, that was the last one, Eric. If you get a chance, go back. And Clay, of course, it's Joe. So it was fantastic, and he gave us a lot of insight on it. He'll be back, and we've been slowly catching up on his YouTube channel. He's got a lot of good stuff, and hopefully maybe we can get him to do some recordings of some of that Cylon stuff, and we'll see. So
sounds great.
Have some fun with that.
Yeah, I think it's fun. It's always fun to have Cylon voices because Human voices are boring.
Oh boy. Oh man. You know,
Because you colonials are inferior.
okay, so I just got a message that Pete's sound's still not good, low volume and sounds strange like an
He told
old
me you were too low.
AM radio. I'm not sure about that, Scott.
Sounds great to me.
Dave, Dave sent, yeah, he just sent the message up. So our output is I'm in the green. Everything is good on this end. Mine and
sounds good to hear.
Chris has
Anybody
the
else
lead.
want to pop in? Make sure Dave's just not having problems.
Yeah. Let's
just want to make sure.
Just double check all that. Yeah. So, but thanks for the heads up, Dave.
All right, mediocre modeler says Pete sounds okay. So, David.
Okay, so
check your headphones or your
yes,
speakers.
Yeah. All right.
Might be something, or you might be a bad connection. That happens.
Either way, Dave, thanks for joining. Stay with us.
Hang in.
Yeah, Ramon says stay. It sounds good. Glayarden says okay, and he's on his phone. Scott 5x5. Roger that. Humanoids might damage easily, but at least they don't rust. Rob, good one. Yeah. So look, we are on chapter 14, and chapter 14, Chris, starts with Croft, which is very, very interesting, right? So we have a very specific perspective, and it's Croft. And we're starting on page 116 for anybody that has the book. And he's setting a heck of a scene, right? It's clothes in pieces, shreds falling off my body, ice axe twisting and turning in the middle of a long bounce off a cornice. So I think he's like falling off like a ledge, like a mountainside. And he sees Lita, right, which is actually not his ex-wife. It's actually still his wife. And it's pretty interesting. It's like very vivid. I remember the first time I read it, it was like, whoa, I could see it in the back of my head. So this is obviously not something that we got to see in the episode. Little bit of, that backstory, because remember, we left off where everybody basically had just passed out and they were kind of just waiting to die. And so Croft is in this, a delirium, a nightmare, some kind of like, I'm not sure, where he is, what's going on. And these are the images he's seeing. Like, so he's troubled, right? He's troubled. That's definitely what's going on right here now.
So I want to bring this up because this whole paragraph reminds me, he talked earlier in regards to being in his cell. It was very first I think first couple chapters in the book. He talked about being in his cell, and his reoccurring nightmare was not being able to help her, or her not wanting his help, or those were his reoccurring nightmare in there. So here we are again, I think, and he's having another one of those nightmares. So he's and he's going through the exact same information that he kind of did before inside of the very first couple of chapters, where he's in the cell and he's having a nightmare about her, and is it I can't remember, is it her being mean by saying no, I don't want your help, or or just her giving up on him, or so there was some like hidden meanings underneath of it, I think. So I think we're having the same first paragraph in this chapter is this whole skin turning black, her skin turning black, she's reaching out, she's falling, he sees her falling, so, and then of course he wakes up. So I think that's where he wakes up, and then of course now they're in the we get back to the regular episode. The episode is just kind of where it starts out of the episode.
Exactly. But I guess if we kind of take a little bit of a dive into what's going on, it's the fact that they're being moved, and that's what they're gonna realize. They're gonna realize that they were moved from where they were to now where they are. And so he wakes up, right? So Croft wakes up, and he says, suddenly, simply noiselessly, I'm awake, numb, and he realizes, or he's trying to figure out, is it a nightmare or it's a cave, right? So he can see. So he's waking up, and he's scoping out the cave itself, right? So he's saying there's several entrances, and he's now, he's aware of what's going on, but it's obviously not where he was, to him, like just a second ago. And now he's looking around, and this to me is one of the most fascinating parts of the chapter. And you do see some of the imagery that is here is definitely in the episode itself. And then there in the outtakes, there's slightly more. However, we do get to see some of what they're talking about. And it's a cave, and there's a lot of quote junk on the walls. And he says in the book, it's actually war junk.
Right.
That's what's on the walls.
Yeah.
Right?
So
it's not just garbage. It's war junk, which is fascinating.
And then you're talking, so the junk he's talking about is a hatchway from a Cylon aircraft, which made me think to myself, these people shoot one down? I mean, with all they got's the pulse rifles from the Cylons, can they shoot down? Or it was just they picked up one from a crash, maybe. I don't know. Just a hatchway from a Cylon aircraft.
Or they stormed their outpost.
You would think something would happen. Are they a resistance, quote unquote?
Interesting, right?
Yeah. And then a Cylon, a stock from a laser stun rifle. Stun rifle. That's something we haven't heard before. We've heard of laser rifles, but never a stun rifle.
Yeah.
Bits and pieces of under my scanner screens. A bunch of this is my favorite part.
This is it. It's
a bunch of metallic Cylon uniforms.
What the heck? So now wait a second, Chris. Hold on a second. So before you start talking about how these are lizard beings,
yes,
some other kind of beings, android beings, robot beings, metallic Cylon uniforms. I just thought of something, Chris. It doesn't say Centurion uniforms.
It does not.
What if it's like those robes that we see on Gamorre, where those guys are wearing those metallic robes?
Oh yeah, the IL series and the civilians.
Yeah. What if it's that?
Maybe.
Oh, I mean, it doesn't say. It doesn't say. But what I'm getting
at is
a
uniform, so you would think it's more of a military thing.
Yes, it could be.
Plus, you ready?
Yeah.
Let me show you what they said, what they showed.
Yes. Excellent.
Give me a second. I'll cue it up.
Press the buttons.
Press the buttons. And I got to make sure the audio is on. So hopefully everybody can hear it. So give me a second. Just got to change the routing. So you might hear Pete might echo if he keeps talking. So.
Okay. I'm gonna make sure everybody knows that this is real.
Yep.
Go.
Oops, wrong one. Let's try that again.
All right, go for it.
Now we got the right one.
This is very strange.
Here's the cut. This is the stuff that was cut out.
Doesn't make sense.
Something else doesn't make sense. These people aren't simple hunters. Look at this place.
Look at all this wreckage. It's Cylon armor.
With scorch marks from combat lasers.
I said we jump up and get out of here.
I agree.
They fight Cylons are on our side. We might be able to use their help.
I'm thirsty.
Hey, how do you get over there?
All right, so you look closely also.
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
There it is. Right.
Yep. 2 chest pieces from Cylon armor.
Oh, I love it.
Water. Some water.
Silence.
Silence.
All right, dude.
So that's the cutscene.
Yes.
Let me pull off the system here so we're not echoing. Now we're good. Okay.
There is another thing that was interesting. Obviously, there wasn't enough time to put it in, or it's overlooked one way or the other. But it's interesting to us is that in the book they talk about signs in Cylon language. That's wicked cool, man. That would have been something else. So, there's jerry-built fuel tanks. There's a stove, and a lot of furs, mostly white and brown furs. That you get the feel. You get the sense of that in
what Croft says here, though. Croft says in this thing, so this is his thoughts process. But there are animals indigenous to this crummy planet. I mean, what kind of animals are indigenous to this planet?
Yes,
it makes you wonder
right?
what kind of animals were there. You know, that'd be one of those. Plus, it's not a planet; it's in the book. It's an asteroid.
It's an asteroid. Yeah.
So
Croft is wondering now that he's awake. He's like, how did I get here? And he's finally getting his fingers to work. So, like, obviously in the episode and in the show, like I've said, multitude of times, they're moving fast, right? They're giving us the imagery, they're moving the story, right? And in the book, we're getting a little bit more of, what's going on. And it's kind of interesting. Like, the backstory to all of this that we're picking up is interesting. So Apollo springs up suddenly, looks around. And then, of course, the whole thing with Boxy and Muffet, right? And there's all that comes up here, and that's all part of 117, which kind of plays out pretty much the same in the clip,
right,
or at least in the episode.
Yeah, there's a lot there's a lot that's the common in the clip that's in the episode, but it's funny, there's a lot of stuff that was in the book that was in the deleted clip. The mention of Cylon armor, the mention of stuff on the walls, all that stuff was cut out. But also they said it's Cylon uniforms, armor, and something else Boomer said. I can't remember, but it made you believe that they pulled it out because it started to sound like they weren't robots anymore. They were the lizard people that they were talking about. So I like Clay. Clay's like, what kind of animals could be out there? Clay's like, Yetis.
Yeti. They're eating them.
Tauntauns. Tauntauns, Yetis. Let's go star. What was the big one that attacked Luke Skywalker in the freaking cave? He chopped its arm off. I can't remember what it was.
Yes. Yeah.
Somebody will probably pop it in, but maybe it's one of those two. Maybe Hoth. Maybe Hoth and the other one are the same.
Hoth. Yeah, that's a good one. There's some cool stuff.
Wampas. There you go, Wampa.
Yes, the Wampa. So
play sharp on that one.
Simple Hunters, quote,
Yep.
Simple Hunters is in the book, and obviously, that was brought up by Croft.
Yep.
Right? So, what would you where would you go? The storm continues. There's diethene. So there is a conversation on page 118 now. They talk about, the big guy, right? There's taller than any of us. So they're talking about the Thetas. Because, this when they first encounter them. So we saw a clip, but that clip is a little bit after. It's kind of playing into page 118, 119. And so he said, there's talk between the warriors, right? And they're talking about I think it's Thane, right? That says something about, jumping them and, let's get the hell out of here.
Yep, and that's in the deleted scene.
Yeah. And they're not just hunters, they're too heavily armed, which is a quote from the book. And have you noticed the walls? Boomer says, they're studded with wreckage over there. That's Cylon armor with scorch marks from combat lasers. I say we jump them and get out of here. It's Wolf. Stand corrected as Wolf.
Of course,
right?
Come on.
And see, so it seems to me, Chris, that a lot of what's being discussed in the book, Thurston was getting from the script, and we seem to see a lot of similarities. So there are some differences. Obviously, some of the backstory and what goes on in Croft's head, which obviously it's kind of hard to visualize or bring to the screen. There's means of doing it, but again, fast-paced TV, which worked well. But the quotes from the book are pretty they're verbatim on what we get to see on the actual screen. So that Thurston's working.
That definitely reinforces. Yeah, the Thurston was working from an older version of a script.
Yeah, which is cool. So
Plus-
that's good.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a minute. We haven't gotten to that point yet. So, anyways,
No, so let's-
moving
'cause
down.
120, page 120, which brings us, we're getting deep into it, is where the water, right? The silence. Look, he says, the boy and the wounded need water. I said silence. Apollo stares at the man. Something's wrong. And here in the book, they're trying to figure out what's going on.
Right.
And then from that clip that you had, that we just saw,
Right.
I think is when the next theta comes in. And then
Right,
they start
so-
figuring out.
So
what's
here's
going
I think I can do this. So here's the clip. This is the thing from the episode, actually. So
Yes.
this is the water piece from the episode
cool.
itself. So this
Oh,
is
it's
the
gonna be
actual
awesome.
episode.
All
So
right.
Let me know if you can hear it. I want to make sure I'm not have to click a button. But if you can't hear it, just yell at me that you're not hearing any audio. Pete, yell at me. Not everybody has to do that.
See that you
They're wearing flashes from various specialized units. We've
Yeah, these
tracked
are
down
all-
some of those.
Yeah, these are
see
all
this?
U.S. Army.
They were unique to the actor, assigned to each one of the actors and their jackets, or their coats. So you see the purple one is for Captain Apollo. Lieutenant Starbuck has the yellow one, and Vaughn and Wolf, everybody, Lita, they all have specific and unique colored. See, his is all solid. There's Croft. It's a solid. I think it was like a blue. Yeah, that's right, solid blue. So yeah. Lola says animal skin water. Yes, that's right. Eric Padden, good Denny and bad Denny. Yes, that's right. Hey, John, thanks for joining us, man.
Hey, John.
Very cool.
Yeah, there's
look at
boomers,
Boomers.
and
Boomers
Croft.
has a really cool one too. It's the red with broken white lines around it, which is also very cool. And you can just
You can see
barely
the
make
other
out
two.
Lita's.
Yeah, it's like
Lita's
a baby
is,
blue,
I think it's, yes,
aqua
yeah.
blue. Yeah.
Yep. Very. And that I don't know if that's Vaughn in the background with the bandage around his head.
Yeah, I can't remember which one's which.
He's like a black one.
He's,
so
I remember. I don't remember his name, but he's the laser expert.
Yeah, so it's really, really cool. And
So-
Larry Mager had actually done a paper. He wrote a paper on the patches,
Yes.
and he broke it all down. So he watched got still frames.
He did researches and
just
everything.
Research. He actually contacted the United States Army Military Uniform Association, right? So there's an association that studies all military uniforms from the beginning to now in terms of American history, and he got back information from them. So these guys are the experts. I've read a lot of their stuff, and they got back to him, and he found some interesting tidbits on which one of the patches and designs were made specifically for Battlestar Galactica, and which ones were just actually military patches that they just kind of threw on.
Right.
So just interesting stuff.
So
Vought is the weapons guy. Thanks,
Yeah.
Clay. Boomers, in trouble if he draws red as his color. Yes, Eric.
That
is
red
true.
shirt.
Watch out for that's right, red shirts. That's true.
So I like this part of the book. So we move on. What we just played is kind of now in the book here. So actually, we prefer the name Theta Class Life Forms as a voice whose sultry softness
Yeah.
in no way resembled the voices of the quartet of blonde hunters. Through still another entranceway, one concealed by piles of fur, a woman has entered the cave chamber, and she is some impressive vision of a woman with an exclamation mark. Her lovely face slightly resembles the face of the cloned men. At least she has the blue eyes and the blonde hair, but she looks more like a goddess than a huntress. Her snow parka and leather leggings, together with her arsenal of weapons, including a laser rifle flung over her shoulder, do not in any way conceal the superbly formed body underneath all that junk she's wearing. And of course, who's making this observation? Starbuck stares at her as if one of his dreams had suddenly materialized. Starbuck the
yeah,
Womanizer.
Yeah. Oh,
Gotta
yeah.
love it.
Outstanding.
But yeah,
of course.
so here we are looking at the book is a little more risque. I mean, like, if you go back to one of our other book, the main book for Battlestar Galactica, where we got the Canadian version, where it says it actually has a little bit of the mention of the sex scene in the launch tube.
Yep.
We're back to Thurston and maybe he kind of put that in there, but that's definitely not scholastic material.
No, it is not. Definitely not scholastic material.
Not the kid book material. But the funny thing is I read this as a kid and it never,
yeah.
I never,
got it. Look, it was a little bit like, growing up watching the original Star Trek, and it's so well written, right? The stories themselves are so well crafted that as you grow up with it, you see and hear different things from when you saw it when you're younger all the way till you see it when you're now. A lot of us now are older than the characters, and we start seeing it even. I'm like,
speak for yourself.
Oh yes, that's right. You're still yes, of course. You're only like
I'm young in my mind.
2 years older than Chris. So, but Chris doesn't age like everybody else. So he's still 12 years old in Cylon years.
Mentality. My wife would say mentality.
The first brain is speaking now. You 12-year-old, you. Actually, Rob said something interesting. He chatted up something. He says maybe Boomer's patch is from his having been on Ice Station Thule. I think it was Thule.
Right, that was Thule.
So, hey, who knows? But that would make a great fan fiction story. Is to kind of like discuss a little bit of that background. It would have been interesting to ask. Question would have been interesting to ask Jean-Pierre Dorliac. Jean-Pierre, it was so hard to get the questions in because he had so much great information.
Oh yeah,
just did not want to interrupt the guy, right? Because you break his chain of thought. And I just wanted him to keep going with the stuff that he told us. And I did get a couple of good. Right, we did ask him about the mushies.
Yeah,
and
told us that wasn't.
That was Terry.
That was Terry
McDonald. I apologize, Terry.
Terrence
sorry,
McDonald.
But but no, there was something about the jacket. Oh, the uniforms, the bridge crew uniforms. Yes, he explained all of that, and he also discussed himself that he, in fact, right, Jean-Pierre Dorliac is the one that designed the original Colonial Warrior uniform that was sold off to a comic book and then reacquired.
Yeah, somebody recently put that up again.
Yeah, you did.
You just want to hear his side of the story, you can watch our video there on YouTube or here on Facebook. YouTube has got the listing, and you can jump to the questions that you're looking for. So if you want to go there to YouTube, and while you're there, don't forget to hit the little subscribe button
and like
and like button. So I like this. So we got we're back to the book here, and it could be interrupting Apollo. Let's see, a little Kosh. So I like this part. He says, Apollo, before I suggest to him that he should use a little caution and give them a quick briefing before he gives a quick briefing on it. He gives them a quick. So Croft is like, shut up. But Apollo is like, we're here to do this, and this is what we got, and this is what we're doing, and.
Yes.
Apollo's like that doing the, haha, now I've got you, Mr. Bond, and I'm going to tell you the whole story before I kill you, kind of deal going on. So he's like, hey, here's everything that's going on, and Croft is like, amateur.
Yeah, Croft's like, come on, man. But look,
but Apollo's in a hurry. I get it.
He's in a hurry.
You
However,
mentioned, we had this discussion earlier. It's like Apollo must be in a hurry, so why dance around the subject?
Yeah, he's just going for it, and he wants to find out where they stand. There's a couple of other things on page 121 that I thought were interesting. The first hunter addressed us, introduces himself. Now, this is all Croft's perspective, right? So he introduced himself as Sir 5'9", and the woman was Tenna 1.
Right.
And then they talk about the Ravishal Pulsaric laser
I love the name.
Huh?
Say that 10
I was
times
like,
fast. How you doing?
The Ravishal
What are you here
pulsaric
for?
laser communication.
I'm here to see the Ravishal Pulsaric Laser Communication Wave Unit.
Yeah.
I was like, spell that? Ravishal Pulsaric, Ravishal Pulsaric Laser Communication Wave Unit.
Wave unit.
Not the cannon, not the pulsar gun, not the Ravishal, but the Ravishal Pulsanic Laser Communication Wave Unit.
Laser. Yeah. And
Holy
then
crap.
they mention they also then mention the Father Creator.
Yes, Father Creator,
Like,
and that he's human.
Yeah. Yes.
And they're like,
so
don't mess with the Father Creator. You better step off.
yeah, whoa, easy with the Father Creator, you know.
Yeah, because Tenna's on the defensive. She's like, if it were not for Ravishal, we wouldn't even exist.
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
yes.
You better back the hell off, you know?
Yeah, but Apollo's making the point that how is it that Dr. Ravishal is making weapons that are going to destroy or is used to destroy humans, other humans.
Right.
Sean says Father Creator is Glenn Larson. Yes, he is, absolutely. But that's beside the point. Yes.
You can't say Glenn
Yes.
Larson without going, oh.
Yeah, that's right. We gotta get some sound effects for that one. So there's an issue now. So now when we get to about Chris, I'm gonna say, for argument's sake, of 122, there is a quick conversation back and forth on, like how, first of all, the pulsaric laser cannot be destroyed.
You didn't put the whole name, sir.
Well, I'm quoting. The pulsaric laser cannot be destroyed. The emplacement is guarded by Cylons. And he says Cylon.
So you should give up now if it's guarded by Cylons. Just go away.
Yes. And there's Cylon soldiers. Doesn't call them Centurions in the book,
Right.
which is kind of interesting. It says Cylon Centurions, is Cylon soldiers. But this is a big reveal. This is when they play a card. So I know that you were very interested in the fact that this is like a pivotal moment in the chapter, the story. I think it's definitely way more in the book, and they elaborate, right? They make it a point to tell us what's going on in terms of the defenses of the pulsaric wave cannon, and the fact that it's heavily guarded, and basically that you can't destroy it because of its design, and they don't know the weakness of where the weaknesses are and the type of material that's used in the creation of the pulsar. However, Chris, this is where you come in.
Yeah, so
Because,
I found
yes. There you go.
I get off on the technical pieces here, and I'll let Pete
Yes.
show his show what we're talking about here in a second. But this is where they say we have Solinite, and we're like, oh, Solinite's an explosive. So what? And and Pete's that's the Solinite explosives that they had in the show. Thank you, Mediocre Modeler, for those presents,
That's right.
by the way.
Yeah. Check it out.
Yeah.
It's lit.
It's lit.
It's lit.
You better turn it down so it doesn't blow up. We want to keep on the air.
Turn it
There you
off.
go. Thank you.
It's stable, but
Yeah.
not in New York because it's very hot.
Because there's no R's in New York.
You're learning, my friend. You're learning.
So I was gonna, I hate to do this, but I want to read this entire section to everybody, and I know it's going to be kind of boring for some people, but to me, it's really exciting because
Chris, wait. Just hold
Yeah.
on a second.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna read it, right?
I'm gonna read
You
it.
Read
yeah.
the whole thing.
That's
Okay,
it.
hold on. I'm not gonna. Yeah. Did you say
You still got that
part
much
of it?
left? Oh my
Wait a
God,
minute,
I'm
did
almost
you say-
done.
Yeah.
You lightweight.
You know why? Because I'm waiting for you to read. So since you're gonna read, I'm gonna have to fill up the whole thing. So now,
There you go.
Chris, now you can read as much as you want. Go
So,
for it.
I like this paragraph because it says exactly what is Solinite. So we heard Solinite throughout the show. It's what, but this. So I'm going to read this to you, and I'm sorry if you get bored, but this kind of excites me. What's up?
Page 122.
Okay. I have it on a PDF, so I can't give you the page number.
Sean wanted to know what page are
Okay.
we on? Page 122.
122. So the name, so it says the name derives from the use of solenoid thermagnetic coiled. Let me say, try it again. Solenoid thermagnetic coiled wire that, when activate as the major part of the explosive's ignition system, clings to almost anything, including magna, which is what the mountain and the pulsar is made out of. Easier to place around the objective than normal explosives, requiring boreholes or the attachment of high resistance wires by embedding them in plastic substances or through soldering. Solinite need only be secured to the magna surfaces of the cannon when connected to the equally magnetic base charge materials at the strategic points. So as long as you know where the strategic points are, which, come to think of it, we don't know about this damn cannon. That's in the book. Because of its high degree of water resistance, it's safe to carry Solinite up the ice mountain, especially since its combination of chemical and plastic explosive substances is stable at lower temperatures than even humans can stand. Further, Solinite has the most efficient pressure effect of any explosive I've ever used. Remember, this is Croft talking. Its density is such that its velocity of detonation is phenomenal. A good explosive has got to have shattering power. Solinite got that, and then some. It blasts in all directions like an exploding star. That's why it's safest and most dangerous explosive of all. Safe, because it's transportable. Dangerous, because if you don't get out of the range really quick, you've had it. So I'm done reading. I'm sorry, but that was cool to me.
God.
That's
drank half
really
my beer,
technical
no problem.
information.
You could keep reading now. I think that, what is it? The 16th, what the hell is it? 6 point whatever.
How many people did we lose?
7.8%. 7.8% alcohol. No problem. Keep reading.
Yeah. How many people did we lose on that? That's like everybody, you know.
Okay,
It's
look.
like,
Eric said,
we're gonna. I wonder if I'm winning that eBay auction.
Eric says the Cylon fighters in Fire in Space were packed with Solinite when they made their suicide hits. Outstanding, yes. And Lola gives you the well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That was great. But the word. So this is what Croft says. So just right before you read into the details, Croft says, well, the word Solinite can give me a couple of shudders. I've used it before, and I found I can never feel quite calm about it. Yeah, so imagine that. So this is some serious stuff. It's really interesting. So, yeah, Mediocre Modeler says Solinite very stable and booms real big. That's exactly it. And it's really cool because it can then also destroy. Mediocre Modeler, you didn't realize what you were giving us, did you?
Yeah.
You
But it's okay to
pieces.
But it's okay to mail, evidently, because Mediocre Modelers mailed it to us.
Right,
it's stable in all USPS trucks.
I've had enough. I'm going to set this now.
It's stable in all USPS trucks and post office boxes.
Yeah.
So
after this, right, Chris? It's then. There's a scene where they start talking about, what if anything they're probably going to do, and because at first, the Theta was telling them, listen, we're not going to make it. Never mind that there's a garrison. There's troops at the base of the mountain, and then on top of that, you're not going to be able to blow things up. So now this is a game changer. The Solinite changes everything for them, and they right away the Thetas are like, all right, you have to come to the village with us. They're like, wait a minute, but isn't the village overrun? Right? Isn't it being controlled by the Cylons? So Apollo's like a little bit confused, So the Theta tells him, "You will see when we get there." And Apollo
that's
chews
not
on
too
this for a
cryptic.
moment. Yeah, right. He's like, "What the hell, man?" He's a little,
Are these guys going to turn us in or what? At this point, they still don't know.
Exactly. They still don't know. So I don't know. It's
But so they begin to go ahead.
John says, "Who doesn't feel calm when dealing with explosives?" And Mediocre Modeler says, "Pete's is a dud." So you might have the real one, Chris. Chris
He's
might
got
have
a remote
the real
activator. It's
Chris
on
has the real
on my
one.
shelf behind me. Great. Triangle, Virginia will be a freaking smoking crater.
That is great. Anyway, so basically, there's an arrangement on who's coming and who's going, and I think, Chris, you have a clip.
I got a clip on this.
This is where we are, page 123.
We will guide the rest of your party to the village.
And then?
You will see when you get there.
That's not too cryptic.
Stay here with Vickers and Voight.
I'm fine, Captain.
I know you are. I just want somebody here who can defend themselves, just in case.
Right, Skipper.
Back.
Ready, Captain.
Good.
Where's Starbuck?
He took off with Tenor on the point. Maybe he's trying to find out what's going on.
Want to make a wager on that?
No.
Interesting. Interesting. However, what's more interesting is that in the book, right, the book itself is basically right from that deleted scene, right? Apollo, crouching by the injured threesome, says to Halls, "I want you to stay here with Vickers and Voight." And, he says, "Captain, I'm fine." And then, "I know I want someone here who can defend himself just in case. We'll be back for you." Says, "Right, Skipper."
Yeah.
Right, so
Skipper is used a lot.
At least Thurston does.
Yeah.
Thurston
I mean, face it. In the show, they use Skipper in this thing, so it was evidently in the script. But Jolly, throughout the entire series, uses the word Skipper all the time. So I wonder, that's kind of an interesting term because it's a Navy term for somebody who's a captain. But I find it funny that they used it. That's all. But it's like, but Jolly uses it throughout the show.
By the way, Eric Padden says that's how you conveniently get rid of the rest of the landing party for the rest of the episode. Yeah. Yes, this is very true.
Hey,
yeah.
How do you get rid of those B actors? Oh man, we gotta figure out a way to get those B actors out here. So what do we do? All right, we'll give that guy one line. Just one line, so we don't have to pay him too much. And he'll act real happy, and he'll be happy about it, and then we won't see him the rest of the show. Although those three are the major important people because they are the weapons expert and the laser expert, right?
Yep.
So here, and so the guys who could probably figure out where the weak points are in the canon, or in the, I'm sorry, what was it again? Let me make sure I'll get it right.
The laser, pulsaric, wave,
communications, or something.
Come on.
I gotta scroll up and find it.
Pull it up. Just do it quickly.
Ravishal pulsaric laser communication wave unit. So how do you find the weakness in that? Well, you have an expert. Well, my expert is injured, and one of my experts, I'm just gonna leave that other expert back with him, just because.
Well, look, no, not for nothing. The two guys are wounded.
Yep.
One guy's pretty. And,
yeah,
and
this guy
one,
is supposed to be. I guess the way they had him act in that scene.
The gunner.
Yeah, the way they had him act in that scene, I guess, is supposed to be. He's supposed to be. I can't remember the exact words. I gotta find it. He's still buzzed, or he's still
he's
from his
buzzed
shock
from
off the top of the.
shock he got. Yeah.
I gotta find
Eric,
it in here somewhere.
Eric Patton tells us you do glimpse holes at the end of part 2, so at least they didn't forget them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And then what's very interesting here, which we got to talk about, and Sean kind of mentions it, but he alludes to it in the chat, is that Starbuck, right? I was hoping I'd have time to thaw out before we go
that's
out
coming
there
up. Hang
again.
on. You're too far ahead.
All right, because it's right
Too far
here.
ahead.
We're here.
Yeah.
Whole smiles,
okay, right there.
Skipper?
Okay,
Here we
hang
go.
on.
All right, let's do it.
I believe it is in right here.
You got the clip? Oh, let's do this. Oh, boy.
I got to make sure I find it first.
Click, click, click. Oh, man. Yeah, there is. That's right. We did see it. We screened it before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Find out what's going on.
Want to make a wager on that?
Nope.
I was hoping I'd get a chance to thaw out.
When we get to the village, I'll find the living compartment. I can warm you up there.
Well,
Heck
bet
yeah!
you can.
So in the
how
book,
risque this Battlestar Galactica stuff is. Whoo, we're getting hot in here. I mean,
oh yeah. And then Eric Patton brings up the ABC censors, so probably
yeah,
that's probably
that's
probably why that never made it.
1970s.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And nowadays it's like
God.
practically nudity and sex on TV in regular on commercials practically
on anything.
Yeah, so back
the
then it was like,
book
oh my
says-
gosh, did you see
no.
it? The
I was
kids, oh my
hoping-
gosh, what do you think? That's
Yeah,
definitely not
nobody
after school
knows.
special material.
Chris, you got to see TV in Italy, right? It's
Oh, yeah. Oh, big difference. So, sit down and watch a commercial like this is a wine commercial, and she has no top on.
Yeah.
How is that selling wine? Not that I'm complaining.
Yeah,
but
that's Europe for you.
Yeah, that's
not
like,
here.
whoa.
You can't talk like that here. In the 70s, no.
No.
In the book, it says, I was hoping I'd have time to thaw out before we go out there again. We'll find a living compartment in the village. I can warm you up there. And he says, then I'll bet you can.
I bet you. That's what he said. That's what he said in the thing too.
Yeah.
So I bet you
that's
can.
real. So there's no difference there. It's basically
it was just cut out.
Yeah, just cut out. So that's fascinating. So now, we're on page 124, and Muffet bounds ahead of us with his usual eagerness. Yeah. And this is when Wolf is deliberately hanging back with me being Croft, because this is Croft telling the story. And that, I believe, is kind of more or less what happens in the actual broadcast episode.
Right.
So these are the scenes that were there. So he says, when do we break? He whispers suddenly, and Croft says, don't push it, Wolf. He glances around, making sure everybody else is ahead of us. And then, just want you to know I'm ready. Where'd you get that? This is the scene where he shows him
ready?
That he's got the laser. Yeah. Nice.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's awesome.
In the book, they mentioned this earlier where he observed Wolf take it off of one of the people when the shuttle crashed.
Yes.
So he already knew he had it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is great. So actually, it's matching up really, really well.
Yes.
There's not a lot except here and there. And then I guess if we kind of like make our way to like 125, this is what I found interesting myself. Chris, fill in anything else, but this is when they get close to the village, and there is a wave of relief among our party. We're all cold, colder than Thane's eyes. Last time I felt this chilled was back on Kalpa when we had to go in hand-to-hand combat across a series of snow bridges against a Cylon attack force. Chris and I were talking about this before, and it was like, what?
So couldn't you
Croft
imagine?
and
Hand to
his
hand.
team,
So
yeah,
So one of the things one of the things that Pete and I were talking about is like, all right, so hand-to-hand combat. I got to, of course, once again, I believe, and in the book does mention that the armor suits are over top of a being, kind of a lizard style being. So you do hand-to-hand combat. So the thing I found it funny is the Cylons have bayonets and swords. All right, so for hand-to-hand combat, Cylons are pretty well prepared.
Yes, they are.
For hand-to-hand combat, you don't see anything for a colonial in regards to hand-to-hand combat other than a pistol. So, or in later episodes, you do see a rifle, which is one of the things I also mentioned to Pete. Was like,
assault rifle.
So if you're going to go assault a planet or assault this Ravishal pulsar gun, don't you think you'd take a rifle with you instead of a pistol? A pistol is a close-in weapon. Granted that these things are probably amazing technological advances and everything, but like, oh, you should take a rifle. And then I was thinking, well, they don't have rifles. And I thought, oh, wait a minute, they do have rifles. You see it in the Escape from Baltar's Escape, where they have kind of like colonial marines in the hallway there. But when it comes to hand, like literally you're going to be hand to hand if you don't have something. So, I kind of like to imagine that maybe the colonials had some sort of dagger on them or something. You don't see it on their.
Never see any of
but
that.
I have to imagine that they'd have to have something sharp or something. Of course, the censors would never show a hand-to-hand combat with knives and blood and everything else in the 70s. That would be a.
No kidding. But we talked about the fact that the colonials, the chances of them, how and why would they make any type of what we refer to as a combat knife or a sword or a bayonet when these guys are wearing suits of armor, right? And so that's why they have lasers that actually their laser pistols are the ones that can actually penetrate and kill the Cylons,
right? Whereas
anything else is probably if they get close up, you're fighting like John Wick style. That's what you're doing. That's it. That's what you're shooting from the hip. And you're getting up as close as you can. You're taking them out, point blank, John Wick style.
Yeah.
Because all said it like without extrapolating into what other weapons they have. Because as a matter of fact, the colonial war, right back in the 1776 era, a lot of the American troops did not have bayonets. So when the British troops got up to them, they would have to hightail it out. Because you could not engage in hand-to-hand because the Brits had bayonets.
They literally had the bayonets would make their rifle into a freaking spear.
Yeah. And so they had to lead. You had to hightail it because you couldn't encounter. So if you got Cylons that are prepared and armed for, close
quarter battle. Yeah.
So then what you got is like, like I said, like John Wick fighting. You're just shooting and it's pretty cool. Anyway, I know Sean does. Running. Sean thinks it's cool. Yeah. Let's see. I got a couple of comments. Mediocre modeler. You would think that knowing they had prisoners on board, that the Apollo would keep count on all the weapons. Yes.
You would think so. Yeah.
100%.
Agree. Yeah.
And I think
but that wouldn't lead to the story. Oh, come on.
No. But the problem is that everything is happening so fast, right? That they're just everybody's in for for it's either one for all or all for one or whatever. The whole idea is that they're in it together, and who would imagine that they're thinking of escape? Well, where are you going to escape to? So it's not like So how about this? Apollo and Boomer and everybody else, they see the fact. There is no other worlds. There's no colonies. Where is it that you think you're going to go to? Whereas, Croft, I guess, but, Wolf and these guys, they've been thinking all about where they're going. They don't care about the destruction.
All they've been thinking about for years and years inside
is that they're just going to go find themselves somewhere and get the hell hightail it out. So.
I find, we move on to the next section where Tenna starts talking in regards to, the Cylon Patrol and we get that's where the the actual show breaks.
Yes.
For the next, the next piece, but it also breaks. But do you remember what happened right after the break on the show?
Oh yeah. Oh, that was like, oh man.
So the
They're
break
hiding.
happens. Right. So here's the.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So get this. So yeah. They're all running around. Oh, did you notice that she has a Cylon?
Yeah.
She had a Cylon rifle.
Rifle, right. Plus, the first person she goes to is who? According to the book, Starbuck pushes past Croft and Apollo to intercept her. Says, "Oh, and what does he say? Is oh, I knew you missed me, but it's typical Starbuck trying to pick up the woman."
Yeah.
But I knew you missed me, but of course that's not in here. But we'll keep going here.
And
all right, and look what happens next. Ready? So this is where if you one of the books I'm reading is By Your Command, and they talk a lot about how this episode was. A lot of things were held back. So this would have been number 2 in the series, but they did reshoots to get Baltar into it. You can see where they've dropped the scene in. So
to be continued.
This is where they dropped in this piece here. So I think it was rather, it's a crafty way of getting Baltar back into the show that he was going to be written out of, because Volpa was going to be the main baddie.
The main bad guy in the series.
In the series.
Clay says ILs are the best. Yeah, they're cool.
Yes, they are.
In hindsight, I would have liked to have seen more Imperious leader. That's Sean, quoting Sean. Agreed, all of that stuff. I thought they were all great, but they needed a different, like a new antagonist, a new bad. The Cylons were defeatable. They weren't as I guess...
They were robots in the show, so...
Robots. Like
they were robots in the show, so it was not as bad, and they were portrayed as clumsy, and portrayed as everything else. So
yeah, they kind of ruined it.
That's not in the book, so we'll go back to where the book was, and of course they, they're like, hey, you're not going to turn us in. So this is the point where you have to think these people haven't, Starbuck and Apollo and everybody else, they're not even sure that these people are not going to turn them in yet. They're following them blindly in this, and then they're like, so this is where you're not going to turn us in. Hey, you're not going to turn us in. His eyes are bright. This is the way it's clear now. So you're not going to turn us in to the Cylons? And no, Tenna mutters angrily, "We hate Cylons." I'm sorry, Tenna. You should really not hate the Cylons. They're awesome, by the way. The 5-9 crawls closer, so that the wrath-filled eyes. These people really hate the Cylons, evidently, and they're like, they use us as slave labor. We're lower than humans. We're subhuman.
Subhumans, yes.
It was a really interesting word to use in this case.
Considered by the Cylons to be subhuman. Like, she didn't want to say that, or I'm sorry, Sir 5-9 didn't want to say that, but the bitterness in his voice convinces me of his hatred for the Cylons. And then it says, we were created for slave labor. And so this is, so they move on. They're going to continue on with,
this is
the whole getting to their destination.
Right. So it says here, most of our brothers and sisters are still slaves in the village, but you revolted, Apollo says. And both Tenna and Sir 5-9 appear to be embarrassed by the implication of Apollo's statement. No. All right, ready? Let's see if I can find it.
He says, oh, you got it? Oh, man. Excellent.
I think it's...
Oh, you're going to try to pull it up. Well, in the meantime, Eric says the scene where Starbuck reprograms the computer to get on the team was also shot after the fact to square the chronology.
It's in the outtakes. It's in the. I'll pull it up later. I'll pull it up in a minute.
And then Sean says, which is why his hair goes from long to short to long in one episode.
Exactly.
And then Eric says this probably would have aired second as planned originally if Jane Seymour had refused to come back one more time.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus Boxy says in the beginning, what do you call Apollo?
Yeah.
Dad.
Calls him Dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I know Rob Baum had actually mentioned, he alluded to some of this earlier on when we first started the broadcast. So he had mentioned some of I think it was Jane Seymour. So that's up there, guys. If you wanted to catch up and read up on that, I think there was some more. Oh, that was a cool scene where they show the back of the packs themselves with the giant Galactica patch on it. Yeah,
so I think this is cool. Where they say, so you revolted. I believe this is the scene here. This is in part 2, by the way. What does the book say?
The book says
no.
Oh, that's right. There's a different exchange.
The book says they did not revolt.
Okay, it says embarrassed implications. So, but you revolted, Apollo says. Both Tenna and Sir 59 appear to be embarrassed by the implication of Apollo's statement. No, Sir 59 says, I'm afraid we did not. Evidently, we are not perfect. Apollo's smile contains a great deal of sadness. No, he says, just human.
So there's a difference there for sure.
Oh, yeah.
They did not revolt. So now you're talking, these people are just, this is how they live. This is the normal piece.
Yeah.
This is not, they're not outcasts. They're not rebel scum as you would be in the
they're not.
Star Wars
Which
type
makes
thing.
That makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's actually very interesting. John Repper says, wow, hand-to-hand combat with Cylons on Snowbridge. If the Colonials were using martial arts and tripping the Cylons, maybe they could knock them off the bridge. The Cylons would probably fight and move more slowly.
In the 70s episode, yes.
Well, that's what we're talking about, buddy. We're not talking about the re-envisioned or your mental pictures.
No, we're talking about the book.
You take it so personally. Don't
but
take it
book.
personally when they
the book, the original intent. The original intent.
Which is that Croft and his team fought them hand to hand.
Hand to hand.
Which is close quarters. So
yeah.
So anyway, the book then obviously just goes on to talk about how they bring it around, and so as humans, Apollo says, as humans, you'll help us destroy that pulsar cannon. And both smiles fade quickly from the clones' faces. First we must get into the village, and then he tells them, come on. And they're like, so Apollo still doesn't know, hey, what the hell is really going on?
Well, they said they hate the Cylons, so Apollo's like, okay, they hate the Cylons, and then they're like, so you're gonna help us? And they're like, wait till we get to the village. That's not a good answer.
Nah,
a horrible answer.
Yeah. So the two comments. Clay Arden says, perhaps they didn't revolt in the episode either, but were too embarrassed to say that out loud. Possible. Mediocre Modeler says, but if the Cylons were supposed to be reptiles don't do well in the cold. Yes, this is
That's why they're in armor.
Yes. So it gets colder in armor.
Yeah,
or maybe it's
maybe they get some suit.
Weather climate controlled. Who the hell knows?
How we know they're cold? How we know they're cold blooded? They may be reptilian, but that's whatever kind of V. Yeah, I love V. That's where there's a really great tie-in there. If you ever read the book, Sharon Monroe has a V tie-in, I believe.
Oh, crossover?
Yeah, crossover. There we go. Ready?
Boy, that
so anyways,
great.
So in the previous things, we failed the show, and I mean, we can jump back here if we've got time, right? We'll just throw. Let me show. So one of the things we mentioned in the book from one of the other chapters was that Apollo. So we're jumping back. So that was the end of chapter. We're going on to chapter 15 next week. Thank you for joining us for that, and for joining us for this journey. I'm going to jump back in time now to one of the other chapters we talked about earlier. And the point was, in the chapter, they talk about how Apollo comes in and pretty much confronts his dad, his commander, not admiral. So he comes in and he confronts his dad and says, you know, why am I not on the list? You know, that's going, you know, I'm qualified or whatever else. And he, you know, and in the book, it talks about how Adama turns on a recording device because, well, in the script, I'm sorry, it's not in the book, it's in the script, that Adama actually turns on a recording device because it's a serious, we call it a serious charge against Adama to say that he was holding him back because he was his son. So in the script, it actually says he turns on a recording device. If you watch this outtake, you'll see how that would have worked in on the script piece of this. And, you know, I can't tell you where to get the script. I don't feel safe. Not that I feel safe. I just don't think it's right that you violate copyright laws if you don't have to. But the script is available out there somewhere if you search the internet.
It can be purchased.
It can be purchased.
Purchase them.
Yeah, you can be purchased from. I can't remember where. There's a company.
There's a script company that actually sells TV scripts.
Yeah. Well, the script is called Crossfire. So.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, this is the version that was in the script, and kind of goes with the book. I find it funny that he knocked.
He didn't storm in.
Troubled. Not troubled, angry.
Angry about what?
The computer search for members of the landing party?
Yes?
Well, it's my feeling the computer was influenced.
Now, that's a rather serious charge.
I'm aware of that.
That would be where the recording
You don't
started.
want me to go, do you?
Are you suggesting that I would spare a member of my own family?
I'm suggesting the selection was
Wonderful
biased
acting.
or I would have been chosen.
Really good acting.
I'm qualified in survival techniques, I'm single, I have the correct endurance rating, weapons capability, command
You've
factor.
never had experience in sub-zero temperatures.
None of our warriors has Arctic training.
If the computer passed you over, there must be a reason for it.
Yes, and I know exactly what that reason is. You are the sole judge of who is expendable and who isn't. And according to Colonel Tighe, I am rated as non-expendable.
You're the highest rated warrior we have.
Yep. But you have to
Father,
admit,
don't you think I understand?
a morale hit if
You've
we
lost
got
so
killed.
many members of the family.
If he
Zach,
got killed,
Yeah.
mother.
I will not reprogram the search.
You don't have to. Let the selection stand, but expand the party by one. If I'm your highest rated warrior, you need me on this mission, because if it fails, no one will survive.
Very
and you
good.
know it.
Tell Colonel Tighe it is so ordered.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
So that's good. And then, of course, father-son moment here. I love the acting here. I know that people think it's cheesy. I think it's really good. I mean, for the age and the time frame it was, it's really good.
Oh, I think it's excellent.
All right, so here is the other piece that's in the book that is in the outtakes.
Hi.
How did Starbuck get on?
Oh, is that the revised list for the mission?
Oh, that's when he took the...
I wanted to be
he
on
takes
it,
the list,
but the
right?
computer chose Lita. She's a convict.
Feel lucky. It's a one-way voyage.
The shuttle will carry a snow vehicle.
So
Ram
in the
class.
book, it says he
Snow
takes
vehicle.
that. He says, "Oh, I'll take this over to
I'll
so and so
deliver it."
and give it to him."
Yeah. And I guess, it is what it is. So there is an interesting comment from Rob. He says, strange, there is no mention of complaint among the Cylons about the moisture or cold, which I reckon isn't good for their circuits. Yet Spectre notes in the Young Lords that the planet right is damp and the Centurion circuits are suffering, which is cool. Sean, I got to read this to you. It says, the deleted scenes throughout the series are some of the best, most dramatic and adult of the entire series. Completely agree with you on that. Eric says the only other mention of Zach after Saga. John Repper, bolt our limbs in this episode because of the debris that collapsed on him in the
tombs of Cobalt.
Absolutely.
So, and that's in the beginning of the part 2, I believe, or somewhere in part 2 it's there.
Says he said they said Colonel Tighe. It didn't. It
sounded like Tighe.
Kind of like a little, yeah.
Just like Just like the outtake there, you could tell when Apollo says, you want to place he says wager, but he says bager. You hear the B because you're going to say bet, but he said wager at the same time.
Yeah,
and you hear him cut up a little bit in the outtake there too.
Yeah. Sean then says, plus more Apollo is mad scenes for drinking games. Take a shot every time Apollo gets mad. You know what? That's funny. That's a good one. The only other thing, Chris, I mean, that was basically it.
Yep.
I did want to mention this one last thing was there was a big prop auction that was held last couple of days, and we were
too rich for our blood.
Yes, we definitely were gunning for a couple of pieces, and we were obviously outbid by, I don't, was it 3 times or 4 times, something like that, 3 or 4 times what we had initially looked to get. So if any of you actually won any of that stuff,
let us know.
Yeah, we definitely want to feature some of that and talk to you about it. And or if you know anybody that did, and you want to send them our way, please do. But there was some great pieces that were floating around, but I think they were all sold, Chris. Last I looked, pretty much I think they were all
well
gone.
I think the 2004 version of the Raptor pilot